This is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Olivia is off tonight. The top House Republican says he is optimistic a deal on the debt ceiling will be reached, but stopped short of predicting it would be today. CBS News has learned progress has been made on a plan to cap spending and raise the debt limit for 2 years, but differences remain. CBS's Willie James Inman has the latest from the White House.
Mr. Speaker, arriving for another day of wrangling over the debt ceiling, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said he's optimistic.
We're going to work as hard as we can to try to get this done.
The Republican speaker says negotiators made progress on a deal with the White House to raise the debt limit and avoid defaulting on America's bills. Sources familiar with the talks tell CBS News the deal would cap overall federal spending levels for the next 2 years. Military and veterans funding would increase slightly, while domestic spending would dip slightly or remain flat.
It's really coming down to one thing. This has been about spending.
The two sides still appear to be at odds over work requirements for Americans receiving government assistance, but Republicans wouldn't comment on specifics.
Everybody wants the detail, but the larger issue here is an agreement that changes the trajectory of our nation's finances.
The White House has just 6 days to get this deal done, or the Treasury warns the country could start defaulting on its bills. $25 billion in Social Security checks are set to go out the door next Friday.
The American people deserve to know that the Social Security payments will be there.
President Biden has said default is not an option, while adding there are competing visions for what America's budget will look like. Congress has adjourned for the holiday weekend, but lawmakers could be called back to vote if a deal is reached. Willie James Inman, CBS News, the White House.
Two-year deal would mean the executive and legislative branches will not have to revisit the subject until after the next presidential election. Most Americans say gun control laws should be generally stricter, according to a new CNN poll conducted by SSRS. The poll also finds there is broad support for preventing anyone younger than the age of 21 from buying any type of gun. The U.S. remains closely divided about how the availability of guns impact public safety, with sharp differences in views across partisan and demographic lines. The poll finds 64% favor stricter gun control laws, while 36% are opposed, similar to a survey taken last summer following the mass shooting at a Uvalde, Texas elementary school. Meanwhile, the White House gets low marks for its approach to gun policy, with just 30% of Americans approving of President Biden's handling of the issue. We are learning more about what supposedly happened at Mar-a-Lago before federal agents showed up at former President Donald Trump's Florida home last year. Yesterday, the Washington Post reported 2 Trump employees moved boxes of papers at Mar-a-Lago a day before the Justice Department came to collect classified documents. The Post claims investigators view the timing as a potential sign of obstruction. The newspaper reported authorities also believe Trump may have conducted a dress rehearsal with his team for moving sensitive papers before they were subpoenaed in May of last year. The Post says one of the employees' lawyers told them his client did not know what was in the boxes and was just there to help Trump aide Walt Nauta. Prosecutors have questioned Nauta on the motive for moving the boxes, and he had said in one interview it was at Trump's direction. South Carolina's new abortion ban is a non-starter for now. A circuit court judge put the new law on hold today, just hours after Governor Henry McMaster signed it yesterday. South Carolina's Senate president pledged to take the issue to the state Supreme Court. That would mark the second time in recent years the court has heard a case on a 6-week abortion ban. Earlier this year, the court struck down a similar law passed in 2021.
Well, you may notice if you're with us for Mountain News First at 4, the backdrop a little different here at 5:30. We've been watching a few spotty showers push through portions of Bell County and even portions of Harlan County this afternoon. It's about all we've got out there, but many of us remain completely dry. Here's the view from First Alert Pinpoint Doppler this evening as we continue to watch mostly sunny skies just about everywhere else. But you notice down in southern and southeastern Kentucky, where we're still dealing with a few downpours, then now west of Middlesboro and Pineville, we're not completely done with the light rain, though, as that continues to move out of Bell County into Whitley and southern Knox counties and out of portions of Campbell County in Tennessee as well. This isn't the main show, though. That is to our south and east. Yes, our south and east. This upper level low that's been spinning off the coast of the United States for the past few days, it's going to pivot onshore of South Carolina, North Carolina, and bring us the potential for clouds into tomorrow and showers finally as we head into tomorrow night. So those rain chances continue to go up as we head through really mainly tomorrow night, but they stay with us for much of the weekend as we head through our Memorial Day weekend. I'll have the very latest, though, on when the heat turns back up as well in a few minutes. Steve?
All right, thank you very much. Well, the summer to lake businesses is like the summer to businesses on the lake is like Christmas to them. Imagine the devastation if fire wiped them out or heavily damaged them before that crucial busy season. That's happened twice to two operations near Lake Cumberland, one a few weeks ago, one 4 years ago. One repairs and sells boats, another provides places to dock or use them. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on how both operations are still recovering.
Hours after closing, fire quickly swept through Idle Time Marine on May 6th.
So luckily nobody was there, nobody was hurt.
Yet the losses were severe, and the timing of the fire 3 weeks ago could not have been worse.
You know, definitely Memorial Day is the very start of everybody's, summer life. Seeing everything go up was really hard to kind of take in at first.
But hard work and a lot of help from their dedicated customers resulted in a reopening just a mile away in a seemingly brand new building.
We've been pushing ourselves real hard to try to get open, and we made it. We made it just in time for Memorial Day.
Conley Bottom Marina has a similar story of recovery. 4 years ago, they had a devastating fire, not several weeks, but several days before Memorial Day weekend. They scrambled to reopen a makeshift office and store. They rebuilt a bigger and better store and a lakefront restaurant that opened last year. 4 years later, though, they're still recovering.
And we still lack like our motor room and our boathouse and that kind of thing, but we're getting there.
Two places that both depend on water that rose from the ashes.
We knew that it would be a process, but with a lot of prayer and a lot of patience, we've come a long way.
Both businesses are family owned and say their customers are like family now too because of how they help them recover. On Lake Cumberland, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
It's not known yet if the current location for Idle Time Marine will also be their permanent home. Governor Andy Beshear is ordering all flags at state buildings to be at half staff from sunrise to sunset tomorrow for a soldier who died during that training exercise at Fort Campbell back in March that killed several people. 25-year-old Joshua Caleb Gore of North Carolina will be honored. His Black Hawk helicopter crashed in Trigg County during a routine training session. Gore's family will honor his life at a private service, which is also happening tomorrow. Coming up